At Bobby's, Danny and Charlotte filled Jason and Britt in on their little caper in Dalton's lab. Britt freaked out immediately, wondering where Rocco was. She became more alarmed when she heard that Professor Dalton had grabbed Rocco and wanted him arrested. Britt drove Charlotte to the hospital so Charlotte could tell Lulu what happened in person, while Jason stayed behind to get the whole story from Danny. Jason wondered if Danny was the one who got Rocco into this mess. Laura was stunned when Professor Dalton came barreling into the debate backstage area with Rocco, demanding that he be arrested. Laura ordered Dalton to let Rocco go. She took her grandson aside and asked him what was going on. Boyle threatened to call the police, but Laura put her foot down, saying, "Nobody is going to arrest my grandson." Dalton explained that he caught Rocco in his lab. So Boyle once again said he'd be calling the police. Laura tried to reason with Dalton. Perhaps the door to the lab was ajar and Rocco didn't know he wasn't supposed to be there. When the police arrived, Laura accused Dalton of assaulting a minor. Dalton argued that the teenage boy was in his lab. Laura agreed, but said there was absolutely no sign of malicious intent. Here, I am willing to look the other way at the inappropriate use of physical force if you're willing to just drop this, right? Now, Doyle suggested searching Rocco for the key fob. That's when Rocco voluntarily pulled it out of his pocket, much to Laura's dismay. The campus police quickly arrested Rocco as Laura assured him that it would be okay. She abandoned her planned debate to be with her grandson. Dante arrived at the hospital to get an update on Ned. Lulu told him what he needed to know, including the fact that Brooklyn sent Chase to the station while Ned was in surgery. Emma told Dante that Gio did CPR and saved Ned's life. Dante told Emma and Gio how proud he was of how they handled things. Britt and Charlotte soon arrived. Charlotte told Dante and Lulu what happened to Rocco, which also freaked out Emma and Gio. The college kids walked to a corner to panic on their own. Gio thought he had a way to solve the problem. As for Britt, she quickly made a phone call and asked Sidwell to meet her there. He found her in an exam room where she had just realized the kids had taken her key fob from her bag. Sidwell was not happy when he learned what had happened. "That idiot Dalton wants to arrest my son," Britt said. Sidwell pointed out that Britt didn't have a son. Sidwell also wanted to know how a child gained access to his secret lab. Britt didn't want to split hairs over how, she just wanted Sidwell to call Dalton off. At the PCPD. Nathan donned his badge and sat down at his old desk, just in time to meet Chase, whose desk it now was. The two men introduced themselves to one another. "Looks like I'm your new partner," Nathan said. Chase got Nathan caught up on the Judge Heron murder case, telling him that Heron was the judge who gave Michael custody of Willow's kids. As they were discussing the case, Dante, Lulu, and Charlotte appeared. Chase and Nathan were surprised when Dante asked if Rocco had been brought in yet. Just then, the police arrived with Rocco and Laura. Dante had Nathan take Rocco into the interrogation room with Lulu. "I'm so sorry, Mom. I was trying to do the right thing," Rocco said. He explained what happened to Lulu, who reminded him that his father was the acting police commissioner and his grandmother was the mayor. "What you do reflects back on them," Lulu said. Outside the interrogation room, Britt looked on. Nathan came up beside her and told his sister that she needed to leave. As for Rocco, he was released into his parents' custody, but needed to face a judge in the morning. Molly stopped into Alexa's office to tell her that she would not be prosecuting Willow's case. Justine would be handling things. "I think Turner just wants all the glory." Molly was relieved to get some peace. She then brought up her father, as Alexis tried to keep a straight face. "So he's recovered from that thing out in the woods. No residual frustration or anger?" Alexis asked. Molly said that Rick seemed great. "I don't want to get my hope up, but wouldn't it be nice if all the time he spent with those crazy people turned out to be a really good thing?" And oblivious, Molly asked. Molly noticed that Alexis was acting strange, but Alexis brushed it off, saying she was happy that Molly and Rick were closer than they had been in years. She just didn't want Molly to be disappointed, as things with Rick seemed too good to be true. After Molly left, Jason and Dante arrived to ask for Alexis' legal help. Danny wanted to confess his involvement, but Alexis worried that Drew would make sure to put Danny behind bars. Jason just wanted to know where the kids found the key fob to break into the lab. Sonny begrudgingly welcomed Rick into his home. Rick had an offer to make. "I want to be your lawyer," Rick told his brother. Sonny responded that he already had a lawyer, Diane. "And even if I didn't already have the best lawyer there is, I would trust the Grim Reaper before I trust you with my legal affairs," Sonny said. Rick was sure that Sonny had to be worried about Sidwell's Port Charles presence. He also pointed out that Diane's partnership with Alexis could be a conflict of interest. Not to mention that Sidwell's son works for them. "You can assume he reports everything he hears back to his father," Rick said. "None of them has betrayed me the way you have, over and over and over." Sonny angrily said. Rick said there was an important reason for them to work together. Sonny reminded Rick how many times he had double-crossed him in the past. Rick admitted that it was true, but he had just had a life-changing experience. I don't expect you to take this on faith. I am prepared to prove to you how valuable I can be, Rick said. I have a way for you to keep your peers no matter what happens with Measure C. Rick believed he could make a case against eminent domain so that Sonny could keep his peers. If I am successful, maybe I can handle some of your other legal needs, Rick suggested. Even if it's a one and done, I think it will prove to you that I want peace between us. Surprisingly, Sonny agreed to at least think about it. Emma and Gio were next to drop in. Although it seemed odd that Gio would knock since he lived there, they told Sonny about Rocco's legal troubles. Emma explained why she was really important Charles to get proof that Dalton was testing on animals. Sonny advised them not to go to the police. Unlike Rocco, they were adults and would have much more severe consequences. Later, at Bobby's, Rick found Molly sitting alone with her laptop. She told Rick that her book was going well. She was even incorporating Cody rescuing Rick from the woods in her story. It took me a bit, but I finally figured out the chemistry between my heroine and the real hero, Molly said. Rick was surprised to get a call from Sonny. His brother had a job for him: defend Rocco and make sure he gets off. Back at General Hospital, Sidwell met with Dalton and ordered him to let the matter go. Dalton refused. After the way the mayor humiliated me, I'm going to make sure her grandson pays the price, he said.